Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to something quite extraordinary?
You are listening to
Kayak Adventure Series.
Kayak Adventure Series. This is where you choose your own adventure. You want to be offshore, you want to be shallow, you want to go up the
You
creek,
want to have a kayak that is sophisticated,
or a kayak that is simple.
you get to choose your own adventure.
Oh, looky there. That's a micro bag. I hope you brought the family. This is going to be wild. Hey, this adventure is going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. Wisconsin Riverfest. Let's go.
Woo!
Let's go. Preview show.
All right. Wisconsin coming up September 6th and 7th. This is the official preview show. We have a great show for you guys. A lot of visuals, a lot of giant smallmouth pictures, Drew.
That's right. The lineup is impressive here.
And everyone's gonna have to be patient with me because this is live, everyone. You guys, I know a lot of people go back and watch this after the fact, but we have a lot of photos to show. Wow. But how was your week?
Good, man. Been busy, just working on all kinds of stuff for the Kayak Adventure Series, and 2025 schedule sounds crazy, but guys, it's pretty much done, locked in. I can't wait to share, those locations with you guys all at some point. But we work way in advance here, So as good as 2024 is, I mean, 2025 is just as incredible to me. I can't wait for you guys to see some of those places. So don't even get me going, or I might start revealing stuff, but I'm excited. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
And this series is brought to you guys by GoPro, and the Lines In is brought to you by Sunline. But Drew, we're both wearing Shiggins.
That's true. That's funny. We didn't plan on it, but we are, and that actually brings up, hey, big shout out and congrats to Josh Shrinko for his 22 1/4 inch smallmouth from Indiana. Did you see that?
I did not.
You did not? He got a new PB in smallmouth in Indiana I guess it's his new PB overall, but it was Indiana Waters, Indiana River, 22 1/4. So congrats to Josh over there from the Shiggin brand and Smalley Talk podcast, all partners with us for the Kayak Adventure Series. So, and hey, what about Jake? We're missing Jake today. I want to tell you guys, he's somewhere with his feet up on a beach in Costa Rica with the family, and it's well-deserved break for him. So hopefully they're having a good time there, and we'll catch him probably on the next live next week, which kind of can lead us into some of the news and notes, I guess, right?
Yeah, news and notes brought to you by Omnia. And
Omnia
I was checking the comments to see if Jake was watching us live. He's not.
Oh, from Costa Rica. He better not be. I'm going to pretty much get on him if he is. He should be taking the time away with the wife and the kids. Hopefully you're having a good time. So, speaking of which, I need to go make my Instagram live right now. I always forget to do that. So now I'm live on Instagram right now. But if you're watching on Instagram, which no one is because I just hit live, but if you're watching on Instagram, remember, it's not the best place to watch these live streams because we can't get your comments. We can't see them over here for our live viewers. So, if you're watching on Instagram, sorry about that. We won't receive your comments, but this video will always be up afterwards on the Wisconsin Riverfest page, and it will live there permanently until that event. So hopefully we cover it all really well here. And next year we'll have to see, Billy. Maybe we don't do them, week after week, every week in a row. Maybe we take a few weeks in a break because, we're previewing an event for September, and who knows, some things may change. But if they do, you always just go to the website, and all the information for each tournament will be on its own event page. That's the only place any information lives, period. No X, no emails, nothing. It's right there on that event page. And if we make a change that really affects, especially the competitive side of the event, it gets put in red, and it will stay in red for 1 year so that you guys can always go back to the site and see if any changes have been made. But news and notes. Yeah, let's get in. There's that site. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just show that site real quick because I know you mentioned it last week, but it's worth, repeating. Hey, one thing you said it's September, things might change. That river's not going to change.
No.
Look at that.
No, that's for sure. Not going to change.
Anything that changes, you're going to put it in red. And that's, I can't even tell you how helpful that is as an angler that, fishes mostly local stuff. When you get into these national trails, it's you log in and you really do need to see that those changes. It can be overwhelming, and you've streamlined this and made it very easy to understand what's going on. You're not getting separate emails. You don't have to go to Facebook. You don't have to follow a separate channel here, there. Everything's on the Facebook. I mean, on the website.
Right.
Go on the website.
Right there. So it'll always, and speaking of website, we're giving away a little sneak peek there if you guys were paying attention. And you probably already have paid attention because it was on our graphic to promote this event. We are about to announce the kayak manufacturer, the official kayak sponsor for the Wisconsin Riverfest. But before we do that, all I have is a couple of quick things for news and notes. Power Pole. Guys, Power Pole has a contingency program called Captain's Cash, and that is going to be part of the Kayak Adventure Series. So thank you, Power Pole, for letting us be a part of that. And you guys out there who have Power Pole micro anchors or any of their products, I don't know if anyone's going to be using their motor or anything like that here, but any Power Pole product, I believe it qualifies, and you can look up the details on their site. But Captain's Cash, you'll earn a little extra money for the highest placing Power Pole anglers. Farwide, the app, they've come on board as a sponsor, and we'll have more new sponsor announcements next week and in the coming weeks as a few more kind of finalized deals with us to come on board as a sponsor. But they are an amazing app. I've used them for a long time for exploration and research, GIS data they pull in and seeing the length of rivers and creeks. Great app, guys. Go check them out. And thanks to them for coming on board. Thanks to you guys last week, I got so many coffee recommendations. It was amazing. So when Black Rifle Coffee unfortunately had to say, hey, we can't commit to this year like we thought, things changed in their organization, their company. That's fine. That happens to all of us. But you guys sent in a bunch of coffee recommendations. So I'm going to get back to those coffee companies and see if we can't get a coffee sponsor. And then we are still going to have shows. Tackle. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut.
Yes.
Dark Horse Tackle. First person to sign up today. As soon as this registration is live.
It's live now. Registration is live now. Live now. First person to sign up will win that Dark Horse Tackle Box. That is on my list for news and notes. And the other thing is just that, hey, don't forget, every Wednesday, 11 a.m., our preview shows are done until we preview the brood stock, which will be later in the year. But we still have a show every Wednesday, 11 a.m. We're going to tackle some different topics. It's going to be fun. We might do a whole show on the micro bag, a whole show on the new AOI format, a whole show on a lot of the unique rules differences, a YouTuber panel show, a podcaster panel show. It's going to be a lot of fun bringing in different folks and just having some different shows that get a little bit more, narrowed down to some topics that are very interesting and unique to the Kayak Adventure Series. And yeah, that's it. I mean, let's just get into the show. I think that's it. We've already talked about Dark Horse Tackle. So somebody maybe has already signed up and won that Dark Horse Tackle Box, and appreciate those guys for coming on board and doing that.
So we're going to get into the main event brought to you by GoPro. But I also wanted to add kind of what you said going forward. Those shows, we have things like the call in. We're going to have a segment where people can call in. We're going to bust some myths. So we do have a lot of things that are planned in the future once we get through all of these events. Looking forward to that.
Some cool segments for sure. Hey, and before we do forget, one thing I should have put on the news and notes this weekend, guys, you can see Billy and I at the Columbus Fishing Expo. We will be there. I'm going to do some seminars. You're going to be hanging out at the Strictly Sail booth.
Yep.
Is that right? So you'll be there. I'll be bouncing between Raccoon Creek and Loveland a little bit, showing off some of the new crescents, showing off, talking about the Kayak Adventure Series. And of course, those guys carry a lot of the awesome manufacturers that sponsor the Kayak Adventure Series. So can't wait to see you guys there, talk about these events. And speaking of awesome kayak manufacturers, let's get into our main event and bring on the official sponsor, the kayak manufacturer for the Wisconsin Riverfest, Mr. Roland Bones Jimenez. I should be able to say that better. My wife is half Mexican. I should be able to really really say it and say it better. And she gets on me.
Nailed it.
Oh, did? Okay, good.
Nailed it. Yeah, dude, you got it, man.
I'll say jalapeno in a Southern accent. She's like, come on, you got to say it better than that. And it's just, I'm like, all right, sorry. But anyway, buddy, so you're with Feelfree. You guys are the official kayak, manufacturer sponsor for this event. And we appreciate you guys coming on board. And I'm just excited to have your boats there at all the events, because it's not, just sponsorship of just one event. You're going to be at all the events with boats through your dealers or maybe some your reps or whoever. We'll make sure it happens so people can test out Feelfrees themselves. But tell us a little bit about, you know, what you do at Feelfree and a little bit about the brand, because what I felt when I was talking to you guys was it's amazing the vibe of your brand and how well it does fit with the Kayak Adventure series.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. We're excited about this event. I mean, the one thing that intrigued me was the festival aspect of, that's where you kind of sold me, and
Oh yeah.
I really appreciate the opportunity to get out there. I mean, Feel Free Kayaks has been around for, well over 15 years globally, and in the US, I think we're 13 years or so now.
Mm-hmm.
And we had 2 or 3 boats way back then, and now we're up to over 30 between our different brands. Feel Free US encompasses several brands, but primarily for this event, we're focusing on Feel Free Kayaks. And yeah, I mean, to your point, I do think it's a great, we have a great lineup, 3 different models that I think apply themselves well to any type of kayak angler.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Moken is the one that comes to mind. And, one thing that's cool on a personal note between just you and I really is the fact that, we wouldn't have had a chance to connect and, get kind of team up and join up if it wasn't for this. And what I found when I've talked to you and others in your position at the other manufacturers is just how cool everybody is and how we'd all like, I mean, obviously we kind of all work, we're all competitors in some way, but at the same time, like, man, we all get along so well. We are just become friends through this. And that's pretty cool that we can kind of like come together, unify on something to kind of build it all for everybody. And that's exciting to me because it really is a family. Paddlesports is. You never know, you see one person working at one company, the next, 5 years later, he's at a different, company. Because I mean, he knows Paddlesports or whatever, he or she. So it's pretty cool to be able to get to know on a personal level here more of the folks that work for the kayak manufacturers and just realize how cool everybody is and how I'm excited to, hang out with you guys and see you at events. I know, Billy's got the site pulled up here, but the Moken is the one that I personally, heard the most about. And but tell us, about, there's also, what else is there? But the Moken is one that seems like it was the one that really kind of, I don't know, put you guys on the map, a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Or
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that was the only fishing kayak we had for many years. And back in, oh gosh, I'm going to throw out a year, so now I don't remember, like 2011 or so, we had a Moken 13, and we introduced it to the market, and it was there, it was okay. It needed some a few refinements, but eventually we launched the Moken 10. And through a few dealers, we're able to expand our reach. I mean, it was incredible. Within 2 years, we became a brand that nobody knew about here in the US to all of a sudden one of the top selling kayaks at a few dealers. One of them being Austin Canoe and Kayak, who's no longer around. But, long story short, we eventually evolved that and launched the Moken 12 and the Moken 14. And those ran their course for a while. And more recently, I think it was 3 years ago, we finally upgraded the Moken series with more modern hung seat, a more comfortable seat, more common today. And it was really after that the Moken just really blew up. And it's a great model for not just an entry level kayak angler, but somebody who's already got, say, kind of I'm not going to throw out brand names, but say a cheaper kayak, for lack of better words, a great stepping stone, to it's got everything you need. It's nimble, it's fast, you can't stand up and dance on it, but it's stable enough where you can stand and cast. So it's kind of a good all-around go-to fishing kayak, and you can get a pedal version for less than $1,500.
Yeah, that's one thing I know people have always, love about the Feelfree brand that I've heard. They love the color designs, right? Your designs look really cool. You have a unique look for your camos, and I think that's pretty cool. And then the other thing is the price point is just amazing. And you said something I want to touch on that's really important for the Kayak Adventure series and everyone to kind of hear is, kayak fishing, kayaks, there's a lot of stepping stones, I mean, Billy, I'm sure you've got more than one kayak. You got a lot of them, right? I mean, I've got several. And even before I was doing this for a living, people end up with more than one, but typically, and I feel like as manufacturers in the industry, we should probably like be super positive on, I know big box stores and super inexpensive kayaks. They're kind of like, oh man, sometimes like, oh, they're selling, so much less than we are, but it's somebody doesn't have $1,500 or $2,000 or $5,000, then that's a great way to get them into our sport. And once they're in, and we know when they get in, they're going to fall in love with it. There's no way you can't fall in love with the sport from the exercise aspect, the cost, aspect. You got the, being in nature, the fishing's better. It's all a win. The people are amazing. So I encourage people in the Kayak Adventure Series to bring your $200 and $300 cheapos. If that's all you got, come join us. This is all about diversity. And the beauty of the series is, like with the festival, we're going to have the Feelfrees there. We're going to have all the brands there that sponsor us, right? And those anglers, once they get hooked and just fall in love with it like we are, they're going to continue to work their way up to one day they might be in a kayak that's $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So it's important to make sure we welcome those people into our sport. So, and I think you guys got some great boats that is that next step up. So that's really cool. And speaking of other boats, I don't want to get us down a rabbit hole too far, because you guys do have some other brands that are pretty cool, but I'm actually gonna have to go back and look and read our rules, because you got one thing from one of the other brands. It's like a mini little boat slash, it's probably more, it's more of a boat than a kayak, but it's a rotomolded product. And it's starting to get cut for kayak fishing tournament trails to the point where we really have to make some definitive yeses and nos on what is allowed and what's not allowed. You know what I mean? Because if it's rotomolded and it's 45 inches wide or whatever, I mean, and it's 12 feet, 13, you got to draw the line somewhere, right? So anyway, but we'll have to take a look at that, because you got a lot of cool other brands part of your portfolio too. So that
Johnny Boat. I'm assuming you're referring. And just a quick thing on that. It was interesting because when we first launched it, I guess that was 4 years ago, there was a lot of controversy about it, because some people were asking, well, I want to buy a Johnny Boat and use it in a tournament. And I'm not going to mention the tournament name, a great, well-respected tournament. And it was basically disqualified just because it was called Johnny Boat, even though it's no bigger than a kayak, and you can put motors on kayaks. So we had to basically go to our website, change the name to say something to the effect of like Johnny Boats, a kayak which you can use for blah, 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 in order for that to be qualified as a legitimate product for to use in that tournament. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's no different than any of the kayaks out there that come with motor, or that can be motorized.
That say kayak, but they're just as wide and just as long. It's like the same material. So we'll probably I'm sure we'll look into it. They'll probably be allowed, most likely, based on our rules and all that. But I definitely wanted to bring it up. And Billy, I don't know if you got the website still up, but the last thing I want to touch on is you guys have, like you said, pedal products and even power, correct? I mean, some stuff that's power. So you guys kind of have it all. I don't know if you can find that, Billy, but I thought that was really cool, your systems. And like I said, this has just caused me to look at all the other manufacturers in a deeper way than I ever had before. Because honestly, I don't really look around. I don't get into a lot of other manufacturers' boats. I just kind of do my own thing and come up with my own ideas. And that's where my designs kind of like come from. But it's really cool, at all the trade shows when I see other stuff and I, to like check them out and be like, that was a good idea. That's, I respect that. That's cool. And you guys having the systems that are very well integrated with the power and pedal. Tell us a little bit about those, and if and where they might be, if Billy can find them here.
Yeah, just if you just search for Overdrive, you'll pull up
Overdrive.
Yeah. So what it is we have the Moken series, right? And the Moken series has 2 pedal kayaks, and it's just a simply designed. It's called a rapid pedal drive, right? It's just a simply designed product that you pull in and out. There's not much more to it, and it's designed on that way on purpose to help keep the costs down and whatnot. But the Lure series features the Overdrive pedal system, and the Overdrive pedal system allows you to insert a motor unit, which is, I think you have displayed right there. And basically you can pedal and you have this unit, and when you push it in, it automatically converts it into a motorized pedal system. So the pedals are disengaged, and now you got a pedal kayak. So it's a really true in one pedal and motorized system, so that you don't have to buy all these different components. It's all right there in the center. Works
pretty
well
sweet.
for tournament. Yeah, it works well
Yeah.
for tournament kayaking, especially those who are taking things to the next level. You know, you gotta get across that lake, and you gotta get there as quick as possible. And you want to put as little energy into it. You just snap it in and go at it. And once you get to your fishing spot, then you can disengage it and then use your pedals to kind of, get into your coves and whatnot. So it's a great system for tournament kayak anglers.
Yeah, I was impressed with it for sure when I saw it and how seamless it all is. So very well done from your engineers and, all your kayak designers out there. And I want to shout out Jake too, say thanks, for him. He spent some time talking to me. He seems like a really, really great guy that's working over there for you guys as well. And I can't wait to see, some Feelfrees at these events, some folks that do well on stage, which, of course, is my cue as a MC on stage. Whenever someone's in a boat that's a sponsored, manufacturer, I want to definitely highlight your products. So can't wait to see some anglers winning some money and some prizes and some Feelfree boats, and just have a good time. That's what your series is all about. So anything else you want to add before we let you go?
No, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to send Jake and a couple of other folks to Wisconsin, and perhaps if I can pull it off, I'd love to get up there and hang out with you guys. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
All right, man. We'll catch you later. See ya.
All right. Peace.
Drew, one of the other things they have on their website, they have that dealer, find the dealer, because you talked about getting into like a less expensive kayak. And a lot of people, they'll save money and then they might have $1,000 or so saved up, and they're tempted to go to the used market and buy a really older used kayak. And these are in a price point where you can go to a dealer. The dealer is going to ask you the right questions. It's in their best interest not to put you in the wrong boat. Right. So if you go to a dealer and right, you end up in a Feelfree, I think you'd be very happy.
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
What your budget? Let me unshare. Stop sharing.
Let me quickly reply to everyone that's coming in today and make sure they all know it is Eastern. It was Eastern time zone because they're, Wisconsin, obviously is on the Central. All right, here we go. I'll send that to them. So maybe we will.
In some of these comments, we have people requesting that you melt some ice, please.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's almost there. I mean, look, Jake's post the other day said 3 minutes a day we get of extra sunlight, right? So we're getting there. So let's see. Next here, what I want to do is now, while we're waiting on our next guest, let's just pull that website up. Let's do that. And actually, tell you what, I'll do it, Billy, because that way I've got control since I'm going to be talking about it. I will pull it up right here. So I wanted to bring up the site and kind of go over this stuff. So again, the website, which you're probably on the website right now. Again, this is going to live there permanently until September. So you're probably on there already. But for you guys live watching here right now, this is going to live on that website. You can see everything is linked here. You got all, your event details, the hourly itinerary, eligible water, preview video, and just take a look at this, river, like how beautiful this river is, all the sand and, undercut banks. And you can see it's just a beautiful, beautiful river. I'll just kind of let you guys check out some of these pictures here. Some amazing bluffs and several different, we're going to get into the water that's inbounds later, but you got several different lake options as well. So if you're a flat water angler, we got plenty of that. And our angler panel later, we'll talk about that. But all your event information is right here. It's pretty much just all spelled out. And all your registrations are live now, like we talked about. So every one of these is live now. And then we'll just go on down. This is the theater. And here's your detailed itinerary. So you shouldn't really mess up, be able to mess up because it's all right here. This is the site of the opening ceremonies, the Vintage Brewing. It's an incredible brewery right on the river. So that's going to be a ton of fun. You can see, you're just looking at the water, Billy. It's going to be a blast. So you knew that when we go to Wisconsin, somehow beer was going to be a part of this event. And it was going to be just, look at that, river's right there, just epic. So that brewery is going to be a ton of fun. And of course, you got your adventure course right here for your eligible water. And I even have a short video here kind of explaining that water. And the Riviera Pizza and Bowl is where we're going to be for the after party. And I know a lot of you guys out there probably know how to bowl. And I'll be honest with you, I stink at bowling. It's one of those things that frustrates me to death just because I can't figure it out. And I don't know whether I should use my left hand or my right hand because I'm ambidextrous and I tinker back and forth and just never can figure bowling out. But I'm still going to be there, have a good time. And that's right on the river as well. It's going to be a great time. And we're going to have Tom on from Wilderness Fish and Game in a little bit. But this store, guys, is incredible. I went there and visited. It's got everything we need, and it's right there downtown, right on the river again, next to the pizzeria and the brewery we just covered. It's all right there. So you can get anything you need there. It's not some chintzy like gas station, tackle shop that has rows and rows and rows of all the stuff that we know and love to use. So we will bring on Tywana. Yeah, let's bring her on.
Yeah, let's do this. Is one of my I said it last week. This is one of my favorite parts of the show where we bring on someone from the Chamber of Commerce or someone that's involved in the local community. And so that's what we're going to do now. Let's bring in Tywana now. And how's it going?
Good. Good morning from Wisconsin. Thanks for including us in your show today.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you guys. Tywana, I mean, she'll probably be modest here, but I was there. I've had a meeting with her. I've seen the way she runs things for the chamber and cares so much about that community. And I'll be straight up, she kind of runs the show. I mean, she is, running the show over there. Sauk. I mean, I'm impressed with everything you have going on and your staff. And just, it was an incredible visit. And when I just got chills when I saw, the brewery and the pizzeria and, Wilderness Fish and Game and the river right there. I was like, this is like made for the Kayak Adventure Series. And I think you felt the same way.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great location for your anglers, but also if they want to make a long weekend or a week out of it. There's events that are capping off the weekend before with the craziest festival ever, the Wisconsin State Cow Chip Festival. And that's right, they throw cow byproducts. But it's a thing. And there's a nationwide competition that goes along with that. And so that's Labor Day weekend. And so then throughout the week, we are nicely located between Madison and the Wisconsin Dells. And I am not from Wisconsin, so I personally had never heard of the Dells. But it is the water capital, place of the world. And so everything you can imagine for kids and families to do, that's about 20 minutes to our north. And then about 25 minutes to our south is the state capital of Wisconsin. But we're also connected well with bike trails, walking trails. You can go from Dane County all the way up to the Dells. So let's say that an angler is out for the day fishing, but their wife and children want to bike. Definitely load up those bikes because this is a great place to do that. Yeah. And lots of free things to do for kids too, I would say.
For sure. Yeah, it's amazing. I actually have a call with an e-bike company later today that is interested in being a sponsor of the series and coming on board and having e-bike demos at these festivals, which would be awesome. Yeah. And it all kind of started because on our very first live preview show, someone asked if they were allowed to access the water with their kayak, with like an inflatable kayak, a backpack that's an inflatable or a regular one with an e-bike. And we said, whatever you want to do, this is adventure here. This is kayak adventure. If it's public and legal and you can do it on a Saturday or Sunday, whenever you go out and go fish, if you can access on that public land legally, that's the creativity we're trying to promote, not stifle. So we were excited about that. And so we, got in touch with an e-bike company. So we will see how that works. That could be cool. But
well, I would tell them to come because it's probably one of the most sought after purchased items. Our state trail just opened like 4 years ago here. And I can't believe the activity that people come to this trail system from all over the country. But locals, they really are now using our trail system versus a car. And so many people are purchasing e-bikes. So it would be a great weekend to kind of have product on hand and share how they could support that effort as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dusty Yacker here with his comment. I'm going to read this one. Good morning. This region of Wisconsin is truly inviting for anyone and especially for couples and families. I've visited countless times, and it's the only one great thing about living in the Chicagoland. Miss German is correct. Nobody does festivals like Wisconsin. And I will reiterate this, and I can't really say specifically this stop because every location was designed to be, not just the great fishing and the venues, but also somewhere where the families can, there's lots to do. But I will say this one, I mean, above all of them is like, there's more for families to do here than probably any of the other stops in terms of within like a 45-minute radius. It's insane. And the weekend, and all this has kind of been laid out very strategically, you know, and people probably don't realize how much thought and time I've put into all this with the scheduling and with our tourism partners. But the weekend before, it was Labor Day weekend, I believe. We have this. We did that strategically because with the Kayak Adventure Series starting on essentially a Thursday night with our opening ceremonies, you know, and folks that are coming and have a long drive, a lot of them already have that day off of work. So we wanted them to be able to come in that weekend before, experience all the fun stuff. And then you can only fish 4 days in our practice period within 2 weeks. So maybe they come in on, you know, Friday, and then they hang out, you know, go fish Saturday, and they take Sunday off, and then fish Monday, you know, and they go and visit and take the family to the other, you know, exciting things that are going on in the area. So I know school would be in session for some, so that may be, you know, but for those that live closer as well, those are really cool. The festival and the other stuff going on, it's very strategic how we laid all this out. So take advantage of all the family stuff. If you're going to bring a family to one, this is definitely one to bring them to. Yeah, for sure.
And I would say even for the people that are located Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, consider starting Labor Day in Sauk Prairie, especially if you have kids. I can't recommend Merrimack Campground enough. Get a year in a cabin. And then if the kids do need to run home for school, dad stays, experiences, or mom, if she's the angler, experiences the waterways. And then they all can come back to finish up the weekend, because Vintage Brewery, they're really excited to host you all that opening day. They're going to have a band overlooking the water, talking about specialty brews, excellent food. But then right adjacent to that is Riviera Bowl, open lanes bowling for the kids, great pizza, every type of fun food you can think of. And then, of course, Wilderness is wedged right there in between. And so if you need a break from the kids, you can scoot over with some of the new friends you meet through that angling community and experience Wilderness. And his team is extremely knowledgeable about all of the various waterways and some of the tricks that we have here locally.
Yeah, no doubt. I think we're trying to have Tom on from the Wilderness Fishing Game, and I believe, let's see if he pops in here, we'll have him on as well. But I think that's the lineup. We actually should put the lineup at the bottom. I've got it right here for our show today, guys. There we go. So maybe I'll pop on here soon at 11:30. I know I just sent that email out to everyone, reminding everyone it's Eastern time. So hopefully you didn't get confused.
That was my problem. And so I apologize for that. Yes.
Well, you are fine. We have to go through that website and kind of show off all that stuff anyway. So that gave us a moment to do that. And I'm excited to be there and just let everyone else see what Jake and I saw when we visited. Because, man, again, it's one of those things, like, it pains me so bad, Tywana, to like think that any of our anglers would miss any of our events, because I've been to these locations. And it's not an accident why we've chosen them for the, like, fishing wise as well, the fisheries. So it almost pains me that anyone would miss any of them. But this one, man, for sure, like, you guys are going to definitely not want to miss this one, because we're going to talk about the fishing later and show some pictures, and it's just world class. And I don't even think the world, or the U.S., I guess, North America proper, even realizes how good it is. So maybe we'll kind of get to expose that a little bit, because it's not a place that your Bassmaster or Major League Fishing, the bass boats, can go to, because, you know, Lake Wisconsin isn't quite big enough to hold that many bass boats for those big, you know, televised ones. And the river is the same thing. It's a little too shallow, you know, and sandy, especially down below Lake Wisconsin. So that doesn't really work, but that's what makes it so perfect for kayak fishing, and so much less pressured. So I'm excited to be there and share the experience with everybody at the Wisconsin Riverfest.
Yeah, Drew, you know, I think I told you I'm from Alabama originally, spent 15 years in Virginia, and have spent 31 years with an avid fisherman, and now a 22-year-old son that's fished. And when we moved to Wisconsin 15 years ago, the first thing my son said was, I don't want to live in the Midwest. I want to be able to fish. And, you know, he was used to like ocean fishing and some of those waterways. But now he would tell you that Wisconsin has some of the best fishing that he's done through Alabama, as well as Virginia, North Carolina. And different types of fish and just the feel of fishing. I personally don't, but I can tell you it's a whole conversation. And the area is truly beautiful and one of the best places to experience summer. It's not too hot, not too cold this time of year. It's going to be fabulous, but it's my favorite place to be in those summer months because it is just so green, so lush, the bluffs around you, and just beautiful waterways in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. So, well, we'll let you run. I know you got a lot of stuff to get to, but we'll be in touch. And yeah, it's a long way away, but we cannot wait. And we'll see you at the Wisconsin Riverfest.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. See ya.
Mhm.
Sweet.
Always good information.
Always good. Well, if Tom, hopefully he pops on here in a minute, but if he does not, we'll just go ahead and bring on some other folks a little early because we got them in the green room. I see Kevin is on now from Rocktown Adventures, and I believe he was probably our next one in the lineup. We'll bring Tom on when he pops on. So let's see. We'll bring in Kevin now, and Ethan should be on soon. But let's talk to Kevin a little bit here. What's up, Kevin from Rocktown Adventures? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Doing good, man. Can't complain. And just chatting up about this Wisconsin Riverfest. And how excited were you when I gave you a call? You know, what was it, a few weeks ago about this event coming close to your area? And you know, you obviously being a great kayak dealer in Rocktown, right there, not too far away, carrying a lot of the brands that sponsor this event. You know, and we'd worked together in the past, so it was kind of cool catching up with you. But I was excited. I know that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird seeing things kind of come full circle. You know, we crossed paths as you were kind of just getting this career of yours started.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then, you know, things have ebbed and flowed in that time since then. And, you know, you've done great for yourself, and we've managed to withstand COVID and the other challenges of operating a business. And here we are 10 years later, a little grayer and a little more responsibility than,
right.
you know, than we used to have back then. But it's fun to see it kind of becoming full circle. And I'm always interested in an opportunity to go on the Wisconsin River. Why it's not, you know, very far away from Rockford. You know, I run a retail business, have 3 kids, and et cetera, and don't get a chance to get on that body of water. So as soon as the location was even came out of your mouth, I was on board for it right away, just for an excuse to go there, because this is technically work for me. So
right.
It's an absolutely beautiful part of the country. So looking forward to just taking in the overall aesthetic of it to begin with. Seeing a lot of kayak anglers gathering in one place. I don't do a lot of tournament fishing myself, so my outings are limited to, you know, the 3 or 4 people I go out with the few times a year that I do get a chance to go out. So just seeing all those kayak anglers and getting a good feel of what people at that level are doing. As I say, using a golf analogy, I'm a 15 handicap fisherman. So it's kind of interesting to see all these people who are really, really good at the sport, you know, out there in one location. And then just to top it all off, just everything that the event's doing and tying in the adventures in general, just the importance of getting outside. I think that's part of the sport that is a little bit under communicated, is the importance from a health standpoint on being immersed in outdoor experiences. And that doesn't necessarily need to be hiking Mount Kilimanjaro or doing class 5 rapids. It could be consistently going for walks in your park, which could then lead to further adventurous activities. So I like that part of it all in general, and why it is a fishing event. It is promoting the outdoors in general, which is kind of the foundation in which we were founded on.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are going to have some kayaks there for folks to demo. And yeah, there's our boy, Josh Strinko. We just got done giving you guys a shout out and shouting out your 22¼ inch PB. So congrats on that fish. You guys got to go check it out. Go on social media and go check out that big fish. It was a beast. But yeah, so you guys are kind of going to bring kayaks to be a part of the demo.
Yep.
Might have another manufacturer too there, because we want to make sure we have all the kayaks represented that sponsor the Kayak Adventure Series.
Sure.
But you guys carry, you know, obviously the Kayak Adventure Series is sponsored by Crescent, New Canoe, Old Town, Feelfree, which we just announced today, and Bonafide. So you guys have some of those brands, and you'll have those boats there, and people can check them out. But a lot of folks will be actually passing Rockford on the way. I would think, you know, you go right through Rockford for a lot of folks on the way there. So if you need anything, they can certainly stop by Rocktown Adventures right there. You're pretty close to the Wisconsin border, so not far away at all. And I'm excited about what you just said. It was funny. You told me, you said, I'm going to fish in this tournament. Yeah, I was just calling you about bringing some kayaks and sharing your passion for kayaking and kayak fishing through Rocktown Adventures. But you were like, oh, I'm fishing this one. So I was like, cool, man. That's great. I'm excited to hear, when you guys get the chance to fish them. That's pretty exciting for me because, it's like you said, it's work for you. So
yeah. And for you, it's no big deal. You fish in tournaments all the time. So for me, it's kind of a new experience, a parallel analogy. I lived in Chicago for 11 years. You can see the pictures behind me. That's all Wrigley Field Cubs pictures.
Nice.
We go into the city, we ride the L, and my kids are like, they're at Great America, an amusement ride. I'm like, guys, I rode this every day for 11 years. This is not a big deal to me. So kind of interesting how that role's reversing. You're always fishing in tournaments. I think I did one online tournament once. I think I put in 2.5 hours towards it, and that was it. So,
dude, micro bag. Yeah. You might be able to enter the micro bag division, the 5 smallest. If you're not, our tournament trail certainly it has something for everybody. So you got the 2-man team division, and you got the individual division, and you've got this 5 fish micro bag. You can also go for the smallest 5, minimum of 5 inches. So, obviously 25 inches would be a winning, bag if you were able to pull that off. So there's lots of ways you can enter for the folks that feel like you, and maybe they see some big names up there and they're not sure they want to enter that $150 individual division. They could just enter the $75 team division because it's 75 between you and your partner, or that micro bag. So that's a decision you're going to have to make. How many, because you can enter them all if you want to enter every one of them. And somebody, it could be at the Wisconsin Riverfest, somebody, we know it's going to happen. I don't know if it'll be year 1 or not, is going to win the Triple Crown. They're going to win first individual for the biggest 5. They're going to win combined with their teammate, the team division. And somebody is going to be so good. I don't know who it's going to be. They're going to win the smallest 5 on top of it. So that'd be incredible. But I just want to pull up Calvin's comment here. He said he got his first kayak from Rocktown. So great shop. So that's a shout out to you guys and a happy customer there. And
Thank
Calvin
you,
is some foreshadowing. We're going to have something from Calvin, a picture of his shown later in this show. He's one of the top anglers in the sport too, that I know will be at this event. He's won a Hobie event as well. So, he's going to be one to reckon with at the Wisconsin Riverfest. But Kevin, I'm so glad you're able to come on and share with us about Rocktown and your passion for paddle sports. Anything else you want to add that we forgot about before we let you go?
Yeah, just comment, add it to one of your comments. If you're a newbie to this thing, maybe a little intimidated because the name's next to the stick, so to speak. I wouldn't let that deter you from coming out this event. It's number one, an exceptional body of water. You're going to learn a new body of water. Then number 2, one thing I've learned in this industry is most people who have a passion for something are willing to share and talk about that passion. Mm-hmm. So you might be, like me, a 15 handicap tournament fisherman, but by the time you're done, you might have the knowledge of a 5 handicap tournament fisherman just from shooting the breeze, having a beer afterwards, for crying out loud. So by all means, don't think that you haven't proven yourself in these tournaments that you can't come out to it. Look to it for the experience side of things and how it can maybe grow your passion for the outdoors in general. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the most astute things I've heard any guest ever say on this show. And because I feel the same way. You're going to be there in the presence of those great anglers. If you're just an intermediate or beginner, and not just in the presence, but in an event that is literally blocked out time where you guys are hanging out, fellowshipping, just shooting the breeze, like you're saying, together, the opening ceremonies with no reason to leave early on Thursday because we don't start the event till 3 p.m. on Friday. We have our seminars on Friday morning that you're optional. You can go to and again, learn and get better as an angler around people that are real knowledgeable pros, So, and then of course the Saturday festival and closing ceremonies, the awards, the after party, you're just there to have a good time because it's Saturday. No one's going to be just rushing home. It's not Sunday. They don't got to get back to work. We're all there for the same common reason. We want the fellowship as well as the fishing. And you're going to be able to fellowship with some of those, like you're saying, those scratch golfers, 1-2 handicaps, and you're going to learn a lot. Trust me. So that was pretty cool, man. Nice comment there. And we will catch you at the Wisconsin Riverfest. You guys give Kevin and the guys at Rocktown a call. If you need anything on your way, they'll be happy to take care of you. Sounds good. Looking forward to it, Drew. All right. We'll see you. Have a good one, guys. All right.
Thanks. You know, I think, Drew, what I took away from that, I love the energy with Kevin. And now I want to go fish the event. I want to ask Kevin if he'll get in the team event with me. I just want to hang out with Kevin all day.
I know. He's on it. I'm impressed. You know, you just never know. Some folks that work at and manage paddle sports shops are paddle sports, and they understand some fishing, but Kevin really gets and you know what we're trying to do here. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. So, all right. Well, moving on.
Well, we have our first winner for this event,
winner,
which would be the first person to sign up.
Ooh,
we have Jacob Ruff signed up for the event. Congratulations. Dark Horse Tackle will get your information over to them, and you should be getting you'll be getting a box in the mail. Congratulations, and thanks again to Dark Horse for doing that. That's pretty awesome. We need to get some of those we need to get some pictures of some of these winners. Maybe we'll reach out to Dustin Hoy when he gets his and get some pictures of those boxes.
Yeah, we should for sure. All right, so now we're gonna wait here. I believe we will see if Kristine and Russ, Kristine Fischer, Russ Snyders are gonna pop on here. Hopefully any minute. They're pre-fishing for the Hobie BOS on Lake Sam Rayburn. So if they have signal, they said they're gonna come on and live from the water. So maybe they'll even catch a fish while they're talking to us. We'll see. But the reason they're coming on is because they fished the Wisconsin River a little bit further up, but they fished it. And Kristine made a comment when we first announced this Wisconsin Riverfest on Facebook about how she felt, and this blew my mind, that she felt the Wisconsin River was better than the Susquehanna. And that just, like, as a kayak angler, we all know how good the Susquehanna is if you fish and follow the national tournament scene or obviously live in that region. So for someone to make that comment, I was blown away. And then people replied to her comment on Facebook with some pictures of some 20 and a half, 21 inch kind of size smallmouth from the Wisconsin River. And we're going to show those pictures here in a minute, because they are as tall sometimes as they are long, these fish. It's incredible how they look. And we're going to definitely get into those with the anglers here in a little bit and show those pictures of those giant fish. But in the meantime, since they are not popped on quite yet, so they only have a few minutes, and 11:50, I think, is when they're supposed to come on. We could bring Brian in here. He's in the green room. Talk some fishing with Brian as well.
Let's do it.
What's up, Brian?
How you doing?
Good, buddy. Man, you are, if people don't know, a kind of a local. You live fairly close to that area. I believe you can tell us where, but I wanted to just give you a nice little introduction because I've seen you and fished against you and with you, on the national scene. So you definitely fish a lot regionally, but you branch out and you drive to all over with the big national tournament scene as well. Definitely one of the sticks in our sport. Yeah, let's get some pictures up there. And as you can see, fish out of a boat as well. So best of both worlds there, man. You got a nice boat to fish out of, and some huge smallmouth up there you guys are catching in the waters that we're going to have in bounds for this event.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I don't own a boat myself, but I got a good buddy that we spend a lot of time on the river and do some team events and stuff like that. So I get an opportunity to cover a little more water that way, but really enjoy getting out there by myself. And, as we've heard throughout the show so far, just a tremendous fishery that has so many different types of water. And especially in this event, we're going to get to fish lakes that have, are true lakes with standstill water. We're going to get to fish some lakes that have moving water in them and places you can find current, a lot of grass, a lot of opportunities for largemouth and smallmouth. Yeah.
We saw that.
If you get into Lake Wisconsin there's definitely a lot of areas, some of those bigger bays, especially, September, that time of year, as the grass starts dying off, those bays are usually really popular for guys to hit largemouth.
Yeah, let's bring Todd in here too. I mean, this is a little bit off of our order of the show, but you guys are here now. Some people may be popping in later. They had some stuff come up, and it's live, so things happen. But I did want to shout out that Ethan from Rutabaga was supposed to be on. Maybe he makes it, maybe he doesn't, but they are in Madison, Wisconsin, and another paddle sports shop that carries a lot of the brands that obviously are sponsoring the Kayak Adventure Series. So those folks will be at the festival with kayak demos as well. So if you need something even closer locally, there you got Rutabaga Paddle Sports. So go check them out. So hopefully he comes on. If not, there's your shout out. All right. So Todd, what's up, dude? You were also another local hammer, and then also fish on the national, trail some. I've fished against you in lacrosse, and both
Yes,
you guys
sir.
different events. So we've had some good events up there. I
Absolutely.
love that. I love that place. But now, just moving over a little bit from lacrosse, we get to the Wisconsin River, which is basically we all know how big the Mississippi River is, and lacrosse. This Wisconsin River, it's basically like it's baby brother, but because it's a baby brother, still very, very big. It gets overlooked by these big national boat trails because the lake isn't quite big enough for those big national trails. So we will see. We'll just have to see how it shakes out. But what are your impressions of the Wisconsin River and the boundaries we have, and how do you think this thing's going to go down?
I mean, I love it. I'm a river rat, so and it's connected to the Mississippi, so it's almost like home for me. But I've done boat tournaments in the past out there on Lake Wisconsin, up north to I guess you go up north to towards the Dells Dam, even as far north as the Dells Dam. Kayaked it a few times. Never really go as far south as Coyne goes. Mostly Wisconsin north. Oh yeah, I'm giving away your juice. No, I'm usually a Lake Wisconsin north guy. I stay on the river up there. Lots of smallmouth. Like, there are largemouth. And you stick to the lake, you'll be you find your largemouth. Believe it or not, you can frog out there too.
Nice. And, this is awesome. Man, this is good stuff. So I've got somebody from the southern portion of our boundary and someone from the north, and that's amazing. But while I've got her, let's bring Kristine in real quick. I might pull you guys out. I'm not sure how it'll fit, just because I know she's pre-fishing for Sam Rayburn. Let's just have her tell the story about her Wisconsin River experience. Then we'll come back to you guys and we'll finish out the whole show talking about strategy with the anglers. Hey, Kristine, what's going on?
How's it going? I just got to the boat ramp here and finally got a little bit of service. Sorry, I'm late.
No problem at all. We get it. So you're pre-fishing for that event, and hopefully you do well. We'll all be pulling for you and following along. But we just wanted to bring you on real quick because your comment, obviously, when we posted this event and the boundaries where we were on Facebook, you were excited about it. You fished the Wisconsin River, I think, further up. But I was like, when you said you thought it was better than the Susky, it just blew my mind. And of course, people then made comments posting big 20, 21-inch smallmouth that were as tall as they were long. So then I was like, wow, maybe it's better than even I thought, because obviously I've researched every one of these places. We're not going anywhere by accident. Of course, the fishing's incredible at every one of our stops. But tell us a little bit about your Wisconsin River experience and, what do you expect to happen at this event?
Yeah. So, I've been going up there to that part of the country for the last 6 or 7 years now, every single summer, spending at least a month up there, and have learned it fairly well. Now, I know where y'all are having the tournament. I kind of looked at the boundaries. I haven't fished that section, but I have fished, just up from there. And I know the genetics are so strong in that river. And when we took some of our buddies when we took some of our buddies there last year, I think everybody caught fish over 21 inches, every single person. And it was if you saw something that looked like it had a fish on it, it did every time. And multiple. Nice. I mean, it was one of the most fun river fishing experiences that I've had, and I fish a lot of rivers. So I'm 95% certain I can make this event. So I'm really excited about that.
That's cool. Yeah, you got a busy schedule, we know. So that's awesome if you can make this one. You're doing a lot, and we want to shout you out. And we didn't really even give you an introduction because it's crazy, because when you're Kristine Fischer, you know what I mean? Like, you hardly need an introduction, man. People know, and follow along with you already. But if you don't, for some crazy reason, living under a log, go check her out, Midwest Fisher Gal, on social media. And, you're doing the Bassmaster Opens. You just finished up a 17th place finish down on Okeechobee. Before that, you were fishing in the Hobie BOS and cashed a check. I think, what were you, like 7th or something in that one? So,
it was good.
I mean,
good,
you were
good
on
start to the year.
a roll, and my body just hurts thinking about all the travel and all the fishing, back to back, and now to back again for Sam Rayburn. So, we're pulling for it. Yeah, hopefully you can keep it going. But we cannot wait to see you at the Wisconsin Riverfest. And if you are definitely going to make it, we'll promote that, and maybe we can get you, even if you're up for it, maybe even do like a short seminar or something there.
Absolutely.
People would love to come and see you and meet you for sure. and you can sign autographs and do all that fun stuff.
No, I mean, I'm just a regular dang kayak angler. I look up to so many people in our sport, including you and the guys here, Brian and Todd. They're hammers. I mean, I'm just so fortunate to be a part of a great community, and I want to make it, I really want to put an effort into making some of the local trails and getting to know some of the people all over the country when I travel and the local guys, because we have some amazing people in our sport. So I'm excited. I hope I get to join y'all. I'm, like I said, 95% sure I'm going to be there. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait to see you there. And we want to thank you for coming on. We'll let you get back to your pre-fishing. Maybe Russ will pop on if he gets better signal. He just texted me. He said he's having a hard time getting signal. We can get his version of how
Russ doesn't know how to work his cell phone. That's probably his number one issue.
Probably. He's probably out somewhere. He's probably pulling a Drew Gregory. He's out somewhere so remote that he really doesn't have signal, which is where I love to fish. So maybe that's what's going on. But either way, we can't wait to hopefully see you there. And I'll see you before then at some other events too. And we'll pull in some pictures here.
That's the picture that the comment was made on when Kristine made that comment.
That's
it was
right.
that one. So.
That's Calvin D's picture. Yeah. And then there's another one that I think was posted right after that from, I believe, Alan Wiedemeyer, if I'm saying that correctly. It was similar. So huge fish.
We all had over 100 inches, like 103, 102, 101. There's Russ, myself, Siddiqui, our buddy Jordan. And then we had, I think Riser was up there too. All of us had over 100 inches. I mean, it was unreal.
That's amazing. So I'm excited though. Yeah, G was okay. So I'm excited, Kristine, because you've never fished this section. So you're going to be, this is cool. You get to explore a new section. You know what I mean? You've already fished a lot more like further up. So now this is going to be exciting, because I know when you fish the national trails like you and I do, and these other guys, sometimes it does get old fishing the same fisheries, same locations. And the most fun to me is always, again, I use the analogy with golf. You know, a new golf course is fun if you're a golfer. You want to see something new. A new fishery is what I love. So I'm glad that we're going to get
my God. Look at those fish.
Yeah, those are huge. I mean, just giants right there. That's Calvin's, that's Alan's fish right there. I think we got a bigger picture of it. Maybe I can pull it up a little bit.
Yeah, I can pull it up, but I just like that Todd said that this picture gives him anxiety issues. I'd like to know more about that. That was
I mean, it's anxiety from the flop. I mean, just, nervous that it's going to flop. So,
and we find out it's Brian's birthday.
Yeah.
on that tournament.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right.
Convenient spot for the comment there.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Kristine, thanks a lot. We'll let you go.
Thank you guys.
If you see Russ, tell him we'll get him on one of the episodes here. We do it every week at 11, once a week. So we'll get him on one of the future episodes, and maybe have you back on some point during the year as well. So thanks so much.
Thank you guys so much. Y'all have a good one, and we look forward to seeing all y'all.
All right. Good luck. See you. All right. Busy gal there.
There it is.
Yeah, there's the
original picture. Yeah, it just took me a minute. Look at that thing.
Yeah, it's just
now I have anxiety.
So tall.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. And so I think this could be one of those, and we can get into some angler discussions and bring in, let me look here, Jacob as well. We can all talk about this. Oh, there's Russ. Russ is in there. So I don't know. We'll see if he's going to come on or not. I don't know if it's going to work. I barely see him. Let's just give Russ the quick little 5-minute here, and then we'll bring in Jacob. Let's see if Russ will work. You got signal, Russ? I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to work, Russ. We'll get you on later, man. I'll tell you what he said. He said the Wisconsin Riverfest is amazing. That's what he said. He said, I'll see you there. But I'll text him. Why don't you bring Jacob in, Billy, and he can talk about the Badger State Championship as well. And
how he was the first one to sign up. Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Hey, if you pay attention, you get the inside intel, then you get a chance, maybe get something back. Like, it's not like I'm going to see any of that $150 back, so I might as well get something out of it.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to text Russ, just tell him we'll bring him on in one of the coming weeks shows, but you guys can banter
about. I
left
that photo up a little bit more. So,
talk about the Badger State Championship. Let's talk about that.
So I don't know if this is how other states do it, but kind of how it got started was there's 3 major local series in Wisconsin. There's Wisconsin Kayak Fishing Club, There's Great Lakes Kayak Fishing Series, and there's Midwest Kayak Bass Club. I'm a tournament director for Midwest Kayak Bass Club. And 1 year after the season, I put out a postseason survey, and people started talking like we don't have like a true championship. So we started asking some people if they would want to do a true championship, like for just our club. And then it kind of got, well, maybe we should ask this other club if they want to do a co-op event. And then I talked to that club and they were interested. And then I thought, well, we have another club. It'd be kind of silly not to invite them as well. And then the ball just kind of got rolling. So 2 years ago we had, our first leg. It's kind of like Badger State Kayak Championship is an umbrella organization for these other local trails. So it's like a state level organization for us. So 2 years ago we had a state championship. Last year we had a state championship. Last year we added a midsummer open event because we wanted anglers from Wisconsin outside of like Brian, guys like Todd and that kind of stuff don't necessarily travel all that well. Like they don't get to all the national events. So just felt like they didn't get the opportunity to have some of those big level, special feeling, excitement type of events. Mm-hmm. So instead of having a limited capped state championship, we're like, we want to have an event where everybody in the state can go to and have a really big cumulative event with all the clubs together. So last year we had our inaugural Badger State Midsummer Open, which is on the Madison chain. We had 111 anglers. It was really successful, popular. Nice. Everybody's really excited about it. This year we have our Midsummer Open is back again. It's on June 29th in Sturgeon Bay. It's actually all of Door County, coastal waters and inland lakes. So getting a lot of good feedback on that as well from anglers initially in terms of being excited about that. And then, when we were planning our state championship kind of way back, basically our schedule for the year, I like to Hobie comes out and Bass comes out and you kind of figure out we don't want to schedule on top of those, or if we do, we want to be on the same water as them or that kind of thing. So I was actually talking to Josh Booth and he's like, yeah, as far as I know, Bass and Hobie aren't planning on doing any events up in your neck of the woods, and he didn't give anything away. He said, I heard that Drew might be. And at that point I'm going, well, I don't even know what that means, but I guess I got to start paying attention to when that comes out. So then I kind of wait, and then sure enough, hey, it's on. Hey, that'd be the normal weekend that we would do our state championship. And that kind of got me to thinking. And then as we found out more about what your series was going to be about, myself and some other board members for Badger State Kayak Championship really felt like it would fit really well with our mission for the end of the year, kind of culmination type event. So ours is a you have to qualify for this state championship through one of our local clubs. But it's going to overlap with Kayak Adventure Series. So our event is going to be on Saturday and Sunday. Obviously, all of our anglers can also fish the Kayak Adventure Series on Friday, but ours is 5 fish on Saturday and 5 fish on Sunday, and people qualify that through our local clubs. So
yeah, that'll be exciting. So we want to really promote and show off what you guys are doing as a state, because that kind of unity is really cool. I mean, a lot of states, kayak fishing is pretty cool. A lot of states have that, unity, but I want to show off what you guys are doing, make it as big and as grand as possible, because that's, your state championship. So let's, this isn't an overshadowing thing. This is definitely a lifting up of what you're doing there locally. And of course we're highlighting, how incredible Wisconsin is and the fisheries right there, which we're going to get into now. But I will say this on Saturday, when our award ceremony is going on, we're going to definitely bring up the leaders of, on stage of the, state championship, so we can kind of follow along with them on Sunday, because that's pretty cool. And then it just kind of worked out perfectly how, Friday they can still fish our event, of course, and Friday for them, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, the ones who are double dipping, because, do you go to a new spot? You're catching fish and aren't going to count for the championship. So it'll be interesting to see their strategy and some of their thoughts on that. But there's so much good water everywhere. Like you can have, I'm sure Todd and Brian know, they probably got 20 places they're thinking of right now. Are you too, Jacob? Like, where are they going to fish during this event? Like, where are they going to fish? So let's get into that now. And I'm excited to have you guys joining us for that state championship and highlighting it as part of the Wisconsin Riverfest event we're doing. So let's get into the fishing. I'm excited. I'll pull up a map even potentially of the area. And let me try to do that right now. I will share my screen. And actually, I'm just going to pull up this screen here, guys. And, you know, this may not be big enough. Sorry, I'll do a different screen. I'll do a different one. But let's talk to, you said, Brian, you were more southern in the boundary. You kind of fished that area. And Todd, you're more north of the Wisconsin. So the first question, while I'm trying to pull this map up, I wanted to ask you guys, all of you, is other events we have. There's a lot of events this year that happen to be smallmouth and largemouth are mixed in. Just a round table real quick. What do you guys think? We can start with Brian, then Todd and Jacob. I mean, what do you think the odds are that it's a mixed bag, or what are the odds are that it's just smallmouth or just largemouth? Could it be one either way? What are your thoughts on that, Brian? We'll start with you.
In my experience on this fishery, you want to target one or the other. There's a lot of space typically in between. The grassy areas aren't necessarily close to great, smallmouth areas. And so I think guys are going to have consistent bags. Now it's possible in those largemouth areas to catch some smallmouth mixed in there, but probably not the target ones you need. But I do expect this event to be one on all smallmouth. I just think more consistently, they're bigger. You can find those big largemouth, but the big largemouth are a little harder to find in here. So I'd predict a all smallmouth bag winning.
Gotcha. What do you think, Todd? The same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I prefer smallmouth, so I'm going to chase them either way. But in my experience up there, it's the smallmouth are going to dominate, I think. And I personally think they're more readily available also. So if you don't mind the river, if you can read a river, you're going to catch smallmouth. I mean, there's plenty abundant. The largemouth, I don't know, in years past, they have a couple good sized tournaments, local events, charity events, stuff like out there. And you can get a decent bag of largemouth for sure. Somebody might find them, but you're definitely the boat traffic, I think, is a little more on Lake Wisconsin. I believe the Chamber of Commerce, that lady Tywana, she brought up Merrimack. That's a huge campground, very kid friendly, lots of boats. It's a lot of traffic out there. So, for the kayakers, it's like fishing the main event out there. But I think the river is where, the smallmouth are going to win. I mean, bottom line, smallmouth is where it's at.
All right, so it sounds like, Jacob, you'll probably agree with that. We've seen the pictures of your giant. No?
Spotted bass.
Spotted bass, okay.
Spotted bass.
There we go.
Guadalupe.
Shoalie.
Maybe some shoalies, who knows? Yeah.
Yep.
All right, tell you what, I was trying to pull up, guys, I was trying to pull up the map that actually had our boundaries on it, but for some reason I can't get it to work, but I will just pull up the regular map like Billy's got, so I can kind of walk us through it. So here we go. Let's just do that and this. So all right, so there's the Wisconsin Dells, which is kind of in the north side. We'll start from the north. So the boundary, and you can see this on the interactive map, guys, on the website. This is our northern boundary, which is the dam right here at Castle Rock Lake. So the Castle Rock Lake is not in bounds, but this is the dam. So this is where, it's back to a free-flowing Wisconsin River. Yep. You'll notice that you got the Lemonweir River that comes in right here. And look at all this just kind of marshy estuary, just wild. I mean, this doesn't say Kayak Adventure Series with how all that looks. Then I don't know what does. But the Lemonweir River is a smaller river. You can fish it way upstream. You'll see there's a boundary on it way up there on the Kayak Adventure Series interactive map that has it. But then you get into, this is what I think is odd right here, guys. This section right here is a lake section because you can see there's a dam down here called the Kilbourne, the Kilbourne Flowage, and all this. So there is a dam there, but I never on Google Maps or any app, I cannot find the name of this lake. And it's because everyone I've talked to said, no, it's just still the Wisconsin River. They don't name it a lake, but it's clearly a flat water, lake, but I can't find. Do you guys know if that's actually what is that called there? Because that is another flat water section of, inbounds water.
Kilbourne Lake.
Just Kilbourne Lake?
Yep.
Okay, so we call that Kilbourne.
It's just above Wisconsin Dells, which Wisconsin Dells is just a narrow spot in the river. It's like Rocky Gorge, so it kind of is a bottleneck.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of Wisconsin Dells, I had to look up the word dell and actually find the definition. It just basically means like a wooded valley. So there you go. I didn't know what the dell actually was, the definition. Did anybody else? Am I the only one, or is that just me? But it's just not a common term you hear.
You'll see if you get down into that section of the river, they have. I mean, it's really crazy how it's cut out of these rocks. And if anybody gets a chance, I'd encourage you to go take a drive through there, because it's a really unique type of geology that you don't see many places.
This right here.
There you go. Yep.
It's like all this geology.
The old Ojibwa Indian legend was that there was a great serpent in northern Wisconsin, and it slithered down the center of Wisconsin, and that's what made the Dells, and then it eventually swam down the Mississippi River. That was part of their mythology.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt.
And its body made the indent of the Dells.
Ah, gotcha. It's definitely a cool area, and you can see they have a lot of boat tours, and it's more of a
hey, watch out for the jet boats.
Yeah, jet boats.
The ducks.
I'm starting to understand why Brian left Ohio.
Yeah,
you don't see stuff like this in Ohio. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So let's move on to this is the dam, the Kilbourne Dam, and below that you've got this section here that kind of runs. It's kind of cool because when I zoom out, you'll notice this river now runs sort of to the east, and then it loops back around to get to Sauk Prairie right here, which the Prairie de Sauk and Sauk City combine to make up Sauk Prairie, which is why you don't actually see Sauk Prairie on the map. But if you Google it, it comes up right here. But it loops around, which is cool because if you go north straight to the river, straight north to that Kilbourne flowage, it's probably only 30 minutes straight from Sauk Prairie. But you got all this river right here, this, and all these islands and all this just insanity, all of it in it, and that loops back around. And as it makes this loop, you'll notice it's got, it goes into Lake Wisconsin, which I think one of you guys were talking about that. So tell us about Lake Wisconsin for, again, those flat body of water anglers, those lake anglers. Tell us about that, about, any vegetation, stuff like that we might see. It looks like you can get into little backwaters like this. Is there a lot of grass in that lake?
Yeah, you'll see a lot of grass. This area you're looking at here is what we call the grade. Really popular area to go frog in. You'll see that bridge right there has 10 guys on it every morning. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, that's a popular area, but a lot of the bays down a little bit to the south in here will fill up with grass. These two bays right here will fill up with grass.
Yep. Okay, so you can kind of take your pick. So that's sneaky. I know that the largemouth are probably not going to be as big of a player, but that tells me, especially on this preview video, we're all saying smallmouth, that the largemouth are going to be kind of left alone. So if you are a largemouth angler and you feel like everyone's targeting smallmouth, then let's face it, the largemouth up there, I think your smallmouth are topping out. I mean, obviously you could catch a 22. It's possible. You could catch a 21. It's possible. And with 200 or 300 people, we might have somebody catch one. But the likelihood is your smallmouth are topping out at around 20, 20 and a half. Around there. Is that about right? I mean, like a lot of places, that's just harder to get one.
Yeah.
I will say, I'll tell you an old story. There's an old legend out here that a guy won a tournament one day with 2 fish that he caught in the lake, 2 smallmouth that he caught in the lake for 13 pounds.
Jeez.
So you get out there and, it's a really cool lake. There's a lot of areas that are, it's big and wide open, but you'll find some standing timber out there. You'll find schools of shad roaming around out there. And if you can get on those and find the right fish, there's big fish in the lake too.
Yep. The smallmouth are out there in the lake too. So that's cool. Now, do you think do your largemouth get in that 22, 23 inch range a little bit more often than the smallmouth? But yet they're just hard. It's it's a fish of, whatever, 100,000 casts, you know what I mean? Whereas a 20 inch smallmouth is going to be, more common. Is that kind of what I'm feeling? Like maybe they do get a little bit longer, but it's going to be harder to bank on that in a day and a half tournament.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, 22s are hard to come by. I think Jacob got one last year, actually. And that was
22
not quite.
and a half.
Okay. So, and we've got some other, we may not have shown all your photos yet. We can, Billy, whenever you're ready, we can actually pull those up too. Or maybe we can just finish this and then we'll pull up some photos of some big fish you guys have caught in that area. But the dam at Lake Wisconsin, you'll see, is right here. And now we're kind of in that Sauk Prairie zone of the river, right? Sauk City, Sauk Prairie. There's our brewery. And this is where the bowling alley is, the Riviera Pizza and Bowl, and the brewery. And of course, we're going to have a lot of our festival right here on this grassy area here. And that's where kayak demos are going to happen on the water right there. And this is actually Wilderness Fish and Game right here too. So you're going to be able to buy all of your supplies are right here, you know, and then it's just a perfect little zone there of all the activity, all the venues there together.
I do want to give Wilderness a quick shout out. Like for small town in Wisconsin, that is a great tackle shop.
Yeah,
during COVID when you couldn't find anything, there was a tournament up there, and we walked in, and it was like, well, there's everything. Like all the hooks have baits on them. Like what's going on? Like all the stuff that I want, they actually have it. No place else has it, but they did. It was amazing. It was like an oasis.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, they're great. Those guys are awesome. Tom is great. He might come on here later. He might have got confused with the Eastern Central.
Eastern, yeah.
But because he's supposed to be on pretty soon.
Is that Mazo?
This here?
Brian, didn't there used to be a nude beach by Mazo, Manny?
I don't know anything about that,
but that's no joke. Like
yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't think there is anymore. I hope not. It was not a good.
Well, just every weekend, if you're out there, you don't know what you might see.
Yeah, every weekend on the sandbars.
Look at this river, man. I mean, that's you know, you're joking around talking about beaches, but there is so much low water in the summer, which is when the satellite image was taken apparently, and when we're going to be there in September when the river's typically at its lowest. So can you guys give a little bit of information or juice on this section and how much sand is here? And you know, do the fish, is it like lacrosse? Do they get behind these sandbars sometimes when the water's flowing over it? Do they ambush off this, or is it kind of looking
Absolutely.
for? They do?
Just like lacrosse, yes.
Very cool, man. And you can see why it's not a good place for boats. You know, it's going to be very hard for boats to run in this, and why kayak fishing is just a perfect solution to.
You're going to have to drag a lot in that section.
Yeah. So the good news is you can certainly do that in this kayak adventure series. You can portage, you can even fish. You know, you stay tethered to your boat. You can even fish while you're tethered, but you can portage around stuff. And so could some people maybe get frustrated and not want to deal with it, so it leaves it less pressured. But honestly, looking at how many islands there are, how many channels, and how wide it is, I feel like this could handle a lot of pressure, and no one's going to take the same route. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You got backwaters like this lake right here. If this is connected, I'm not sure that's connected, but there's definitely a lot of oxbows and backwaters. And our boundary, again, I don't have it pulled up here, but I know the boundary is all the way down at Port Andrew. So you got other rivers and creeks that feed into it as well. So keep an eye out any of those tributaries, the creeks and other smaller rivers, like which we didn't talk about, and I'll get back to that, but we didn't talk about the Baraboo River is listed as well, which is right here, this Baraboo River, and this one that goes all the way up towards, like, I guess back towards the Dells and up in that area. Yeah, Baraboo, I guess, is right there. Right in Baraboo. So, and that's a long river, pretty good amount of water there too. It's a medium, small size river, creek, you know. But what do you guys think? Could any of those tributaries be a player, or is it not as likely to happen there?
So I never fished the Baraboo, but I visit there. I used to visit there a lot. We had a camper right down the road, a seasonal, and I've walked along that river just talking to fishermen, anglers many times, and I've seen some, 17, 18s come out of there just in the few minutes that I was just sitting there hanging out with them. So I mean, the smallmouth, they're in there. I've never fished it. Like I said, I've just walked the shoreline a few times when we were in town, but I definitely was something I would check out. I considered it.
Typically a little dirtier water coming out of the Baraboo. I haven't fished it much other than just going off the Wisconsin River a little bit, but usually dirtier water coming through there. But yeah, a lot smaller, more of, that kind of creek type of a thing.
Yeah. Here's one called the Pine River. Do you guys think that any of the backwaters, like in the actual river itself, the free flowing river, any of these backwaters that might pool up, have vegetation, could largemouth be there? I mean, is that a place you catch the largemouth? Or are they mainly in the actual Lake Wisconsin, the Kilbourne Lake section?
And I think they propagate more. They, breed better in the lake, but there's a lot of largemouth that live in there, and they travel that river just like any other fish. And you get in there, especially in September. I've seen times where it'll get really hot. The water will get really hot back in those backwater areas, and those fish will move right out to the mouth. Those largemouth will move out to the mouth and sit at the mouth, and you can just hammer largemouth, sitting right at the mouth of one of those creeks. So
yeah, no doubt. And you sent us a picture of a largemouth. You may have showed it earlier, Billy, but you can start pulling up some pictures if you want while we talk. But no, I'm impressed. I think smallmouth that for most people are a little bit more fun. You know what I mean? And so, of course, it's probably going to be the predominant. There's Jacob with a big one. Right there.
No, that's Vince.
Or Vince, sorry.
Yep.
That's Vince Morton, VM_fishing on Instagram.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, Vince, nice. Good catch, man. Those are huge, man.
Well, football.
There's football. Yeah, those are giant fish that we're going to be.
He'll be there.
Yep, for sure. So those are some of the fish we're going to catch. Now, what do you guys think? Will this one hit 100 inches? Will this event hit 100? Because you got to think about it. It's a day and a half. We do anticipate a big field, 200-300 people potentially, I mean, somebody's probably going to smash 100, I would think.
I think Brian would know that answer the most. I was thinking mid-90s max, but
I've never caught 100 inches in a day or within, less than a week out here, but I mean, you could certainly go out. It can happen. I just think, especially that time of year, it really depends on the weather. You're going to get whether those fish are more grouped up. If you find a school of fish, you might find a bunch of big ones, but throughout the summer, those big fish are really dispersed. So it really just depends on, I think, where you fish and if you find those groups. But my guess is there's going to be several guys that get in the mid-90s, or we're going to see a really tight competition in the mid-90s. But
I'm interested.
If somebody hits 100, that'll be really impressive.
Yeah, I'm interested to seeing if someone can, because to me, a few things always help this series get a little bit bigger than a normal day of fishing, because one, you've got that extra 4 hours on Friday, and people could kind of do something unique and different, and maybe they get one or two big ones there that get them towards that. So it's a day and a half, not a day. So that should bump up our length a little bit. The other thing I think will bump it up a little bit is just given the amount of water that's truly in bounds, that's spreading everyone out. So if it was just Lake Wisconsin, you had 300 people, several people are going to find the same stuff and cannibalize a little bit off of each other. But with this being so spread out, maybe that gives us an average, another inch or two on what everyone could potentially do. I mean, some people are still going to find the same stuff, but you get what I'm saying. I think that chances of it happening are a little bit higher than a normal one day, obviously, shootout tournament locally. And when you get 300 people, 200-300 people, I mean, somebody.
Yeah. Oh, it can happen for sure.
I think the bigger question is anybody going to hit that 25-inch mark?
Yes, the micro bag.
Nobody's coming for your title.
Yeah. Little trash talk there. Yeah, the micro bag will be interesting to see if anyone will hit that 25-inch and where that's going to go down. We're going to do a whole episode on the micro bag, and it's going to be interesting. So, Jacob, maybe we'll have you on that one, because that's going to be a challenge too. But it'll be hard to not chase the big ones, given how many are there at this event. But there you go. There's a micro for you. So let's talk about like some other strategy here. So I don't know if we want to go with talk about that team division, the 2-man team division. Are you guys, pretty excited about that? And do you think a lot of anglers are going to join in that 2-man team division? And And how many anglers do you think, because this is the last regular season event for us, and the way our Angler of the Year title works and our Team of the Year title is we have 5 events for the regular season and then the one finale, right? Our broodstock, which is our finale. We're careful not to say championship because you really don't have to qualify. It's an open event. It's just our finale, big giant festival, but we will crown the Angler of the Year and the Team of the Year at Broodstock in Kentucky. They're very centrally located in Bowling Green, Kentucky, to everybody. Will enough Wisconsin anglers be smart enough to say, well, I need 2 of the 5 regular season events to go to my score or my team's score to count for the AOY. Obviously, if you fish 3 or 4 of the 5 regular season events, that gives you kind of like a mulligan or 2. But yeah, how do you think that's all going to shake down? Do you think that the guys at Wisconsin are going to maybe go in preliminary, like go and hit, the whatever it is, the Susquehanna or the Missouri one, which is probably one of the closest ones in Poplar Bluff?
I think the
or
Michigan,
Shoulderpalooza.
Michigan
That's
one
right.
is probably the next closest most guys.
It might actually be closer. I know as the crow flies, it's definitely closer because you got the lake there. But yeah, you might be right, Jacob. That might actually be the closest. But I would think it'd be wise for anyone to, hit 1 or 2 of those because you got a huge advantage if you're local there to be in the running for those AOY titles. So, but yeah, what do you guys think about that in the 2-man team division? Do you think that's going to catch on and be something that'll promote some camaraderie? And then do you think people will be wanting to, as a team, was it smarter or better maybe to fish together at this event, given how wide that river is, and you could be able to talk legally, communicate with your teammate? Or do you think it's a smarter move to, like, they go fish some total different section than you, but you can't communicate, obviously, so what do you think on that? Anybody? Todd, Brian, Jacob?
I guess I got to hop off in a couple minutes, but my thoughts on her, I'm signing up for all of it. I'm going to sign up for the team. I'm going to sign up for the micro bag. I'm going to sign up for the Sunday side pot. I'm going to sign up for all of it. I hope that as many people from Wisconsin can. We're going to try to facilitate that. That's a good idea for them. And you and I talked about, well, is the Saturday night party going to be sparsely attended by people from Wisconsin? And I assured you that that's not really how people from Wisconsin typically handle things. If there's going to be a party somewhere where there's going to be a brewery and some pizza and that sort of thing, they're probably going to be there in full force. They're not going to really worry about the next day. So I don't know. That's my theory on it. I think that's just a great fun party with some fishing involved, which is kind of what I'm always looking for anyways.
Yep.
Definitely.
Nice. Well, yeah, we'll let you go if you just pop off whenever you need to pop off, but we will be ending our awards around that 7:30 time, 7:15, 7:30. So then we'll be, bowling and pizza, and hey, they could still bowl and pizza, bowl a couple frames, or whatever. And then, still be in bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock to get ready for their final day for the Wisconsin state championship, the Badger state championship, I should say. So sounds good, man. We'll catch you later. Thanks for hopping on, Jacob.
Thanks, guys.
All right, see you. Yeah. So what do you guys think this team division concept, and how would you approach it? Have you even thought about how you kind of approach it with your teammate? Do you want to be with them? And if you're communicating to help each other, the downside is you're probably also both in the individual division. So you're kind of also helping someone that could potentially leave you. So it's just interesting to see how people are going to approach that division.
No, I think it'd be fun. I mean, chances are I don't know how to say it. I think the handful of local guys that kind of know probably already know where we're going to go. We're going to be next to each other anyways. We're probably going to team up with each other anyway. I mean, I know Brian and I were just having a little message there already saying maybe we were going to team up.
Yeah.
So, I think the out of town guys, they're going to have to cover some water. You get a lot of water in play, and they got a few days to pre-fish or whatever. I mean, you can narrow it down, but I think for the most part, I think whoever I team up with, whether it be Brian, probably, will be on top of each other, holding hands, catching the same fish.
So we just pretty much made a little matchmaker here, Billy. Put these guys together. Now they're like messaging privately while they're on the water. We need to team up for this, So I think
we talk quite often, actually.
Yeah.
But
I figured you guys probably already had that all figured out. But I think, again, back to my other point earlier was, I think that if you're smart and you're from Wisconsin, you know that water, you definitely go hit one of those other events and maybe even go all the way to Georgia to catch your bucket list shoal bass. I know that's a long trip, but to be, the first one's going to be one of the biggest, bashes and celebrations and to catch a bucket list fish. Yeah, it's pretty cool fish. So the season obviously starts a little bit later. I mean, I live up north now, in Ohio, northeast Ohio, so I get it. Like, even like April and May, March, April, May, it's still really cold. So it's like, man, a good chance you get out, you head to Georgia in late April there. The event's actually May 3rd and 4th, but you pre-fish, at the end of April, catch a shoal bass. So I'd try to go hit, 2 before the Wisconsin one, and then hopefully you do good on your home water and hit that finale in Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is kind of an area that, I know there's some local kayak anglers there, but it's not ever been intended, for a regional events. I mean, a national event's never been there. That's going to be like a big coin flip. Everyone's kind of from square one at that location. So, we'll have to see, how it shakes down. But any other last tips on tactics, or what do you think is going to be that time of the year? Something to, low water or anything, like you were saying, Brian, the vegetation can be topped out, and that could be a player. Is that a player just in the lake, or is there sections of the river where you would find that too? Or, any other strategies?
A lot of those little backwaters that you find, just little cuts, off the main river, are going to have grass in them, especially in the back of that. But you'll get largemouth pulling up in those. You'll see smallmouth, will be sitting in the current seams coming off those little breaks. I did want to mention that we usually have a frog only tournament in late August out here, and that's typically one on smallmouth. So, there's the smallmouth out here are aggressive, and especially when you get away from Lake Wisconsin, there's not a ton of boat pressure, especially in those, shallower, more difficult areas, and you get really aggressive fish. Usually by September, it's cooling down, and you can pretty much catch them on anything that you've caught smallmouth on before. You can get them on. So,
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool. What about those side channels? You got so many islands. You got the main channel, but then you got a lot of islands everywhere. What about those skinny little side channels that are like creeks? Do you find them there too? I know we don't want to give away all the juice, but do you think that those could be players?
I know I catch them in the secondary channels that go a little bit out. Yeah, I like it. I almost prefer it, kind of like a cross.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar, smaller, but similar as far as the way you fish it.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. And then numbers of fish. You go out in a day of fishing on the Wisconsin River in this area. I mean, you know what you're doing. Let's assume you know what you're doing. Someone like you guys. What's a number total you typically would hit? I mean, you catching 30, 40 fish a day? Is it higher, lower? Does it just kind of depend?
A bad day is 10 to 12 fish out there.
Yeah.
Good days, we've had days out there where we put 80 smallmouth, in 6-7 hours. So
yeah,
there's numbers. I think it's going to be really interesting with the small fish thing, because those fish they just live with the big ones right in there. A lot of those kind of main rocky areas and stuff, you'll find big ones and little ones mixed in there. But the numbers are usually pretty good.
Yeah, that's cool. The small fish thing's going to be fun, because I will say now, if you think you're going to win the micro bag just by just fishing normal, and then you just, I hooked into an 8, let me just put it on the board for the micro bag, and I hooked into a 9, and anything under 10 goes to your micro bag. Anything over 10 counts for the regular bag. But I'm telling you right now, people, if anyone targets that category, you're going to need 5 to 7s to even have a chance. And every once in a while we'll catch a 5, something that small, regular fishing, but it's not that often to actually truly get a 5 because put them on the board. I know we don't put them on the board, but you think you got a fish that's like a 6 or 7, you put it on the board, it's like 8.5, 9. It's not 6 or 7. It's hard to get a 5 or 6. So that's going to be interesting to see that maybe those little teenier side channels that you would never go down for, the bigger ones are the way to go, or the smaller creeks creeks there are interesting too, because you got cold water and trout, and they almost all dry up, sometimes even. So where those little, I think the lake could be good, those little up by the docks and places, you just throw little micro baits. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Absolutely. But Jacob's got a point. Enter it all, because the micro bag is $25. So if you enter the team and the individual, and things don't go as planned, and you're already midway through the day, or at least partway through the morning, it's 10, 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and you've already had Friday fishing and Saturday, then it's like, okay, maybe I should just go and just target microbag because this isn't working. And you can go find a place, get into a bunch of 5 to 7s and potentially cast a check that way and still have fun. You don't have to trunk slam and just leave the tournament and have, you still have a chance to kind of win something. And you never know. Some people are going to hook into a big fish doing that anyway. So,
Hey Drew, I bought some 1-inch crankbaits online.
Yeah.
And when the package came in the mail, I was so excited. I opened it and I was like, okay, this is because the picture online is like, it looks like a normal crankbait, but it says 1 inch. And I was like, I didn't think a 1-inch crankbait was that small. It's obviously a panfish or crappie bait, but
target in the micro bag.
That's right.
That's why I bought them for,
cute,
but they're small.
Yeah.
The little crappie crankbaits.
Yeah.
Yep. I think those little tad fry crankbaits. You ever seen those? It looks like it's a tad fry is what it's called. Little tadpole. That's a good one. But I mean, obviously with me being with Z-Man too, and they came out with that micro finesse line. And of course they're the headline sponsor of our micro bag. It's the Z-Man micro finesse micro bag division. Those things are unreal. I mean, those little, you buy the jig heads that they include. The Z-Man jig heads always work best with the Z-Man elastic plastic, because it's so stretchy. People are going to win a lot of the micro bags, I'm pretty sure, on those baits. I mean, they're awesome. So they've been crushing it. So I'm excited.
I'll tell you, one thing about this river that I have not witnessed on other rivers is, like, especially in the late summer and fall, you'll get into areas and you see the shad up on the bank and smallmouth crashing on them and crashing hard. And you might be right on top of them and you throw everything in your tackle box there and they won't touch it. So those micro finesse, lures, like the Z-Man stuff, might play really big.
Okay. No, that's interesting. That's a good point. What about that Wisconsin Dells area where you have those jet boats and you have all those touristy stuff? Is that like somewhere that you guys locally kind of avoid just because all the touristy, traffic? Or, I mean, the fish have to live there too, right? I mean, even though there's a lot of traffic, they got to
I find myself fishing that area a little more because I'll bring the family up there to the Dells or camping. And you're just in the area, so we'll either bring the boat, kayaks, whatever. And there's a big resort right there, River's Edge, right below the dam. Maybe, I don't know, a couple miles below the dam. And you'll catch them there. I mean, they're there, but you got everybody. The Dells is huge as far as touristy. So everybody and their mother that rents kayaks, rents boats, the jet boats, the ducks, the Wisconsin ducks they come out all over that area. I don't know if you know what a Wisconsin duck is, but it's this giant boat.
Amphibious? Is it like an amphibious boat?
Yeah, the amphibious boats. They're all over there. That's a big deal there. I think there's a couple of them now. Besides the Wisconsin ducks, there's 2 or 3 of them now that do it. And it's a very popular area, but most of them are just floating or recreation or messing around. So if you don't mind the wakes and the waves, the fish are still there. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I wonder. I mean, I personally, it's not my style to be around all that, but it's something to think about. If you think people are going to avoid it, then it could be somewhere to go target, because we are trying to find that needle in a haystack, and we do want to be alone, hopefully, in a tournament. That's obviously all of our goal. And with how much water's inbounds, hopefully the Kayak Adventure Series is going to help make that possible. Even if we do have 300 or 400 people, I think we have enough water where you could still find somewhere alone, potentially. So that's pretty cool. And that could be something that, people might want to think about. Hit those areas where those the tourist traffic kind of is, and maybe it'll be less that time of year. It should be less, you would think, right? Because kids are back in school, and maybe it won't be quite as bad, but it's still a weekend, So could be something to think about for Friday. There you go.
There's the ducks.
Friday maybe won't be as bad as I would think as Saturday was going to be. So,
and I do think, I mean, for the most part, the boat traffic around the Dells is pretty focused right in the Dells. Once you get, by river a mile or 2 away from the Dells, you're not going to see near as much.
It definitely dies off real quick.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool. Well, I can't wait to see you guys there and see how it all, shakes out. I'm excited. Very excited for this event, and it's the finale for the regular season. So I think we're going to have a really big turnout. We're hoping for a few hundred for sure. I think we can make it happen. And of course, someone's going to walk away with 5 figures if we do. And the way we've got it run, with Amanda Brandon and Real Tournament Management, she's been working with me, and we've got it down where And every one of the Kayak Adventure Series events, you're walking off the stage with a check. You know, we're handing you a check right there. There's no reason for it not to. We already have, you know, people are signing up and registering now, which, by the way, this is another good time to mention this. The first 100 anglers that sign up for any Kayak Adventure Series event for the individual division will receive a $100 prize bag from our sponsor. So that's 100 people getting a bag that are each worth $100 of gifts from our sponsor. So make sure you're the first to sign up for those, and you'll get those bags. And yeah, I'm just excited for this event, man, for you guys to be there, the brewery, the bowling, the pizza. It's going to be incredible. So any last thoughts, Billy?
Nope. Just think I got some music here. We want to give a shout out to GoPro for sponsoring this, and then Feelfree Kayaks for sponsoring the Wisconsin. Wait. What do we call it? I was going to mess it up.
Riverfest.
Wisconsin Riverfest.
Yeah.
So thank you,
right.
Feelfree, and can't wait to see everyone. Go sign up, everyone.
All right, guys. We'll catch you
Thanks,
later.
Brian, Todd.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Really
guys.
looking forward to
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Yep.
Have a good day.
See you on the trails. All right.